You can be seated. Stay ready to talk? Yes, sir. Ben's ready to talk?
Yes, sir.
General, you can proceed.
Laura Hodge.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give in the hearing of this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please have a seat.
Give us your name, please, ma'am.
Laura Hodge.
Who do you work for?
I'm employed by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and I work in the Nashville Crime Laboratory.
And what are your duties with the National Crime Laboratory?
I am currently assigned to the Firearms and Tool Mark Identification Unit.
And tell us, how long have you been employed with the TBI?
26 and a half years.
And in what various capacities over the years?
The first 19 years of my career, I was assigned to the microanalysis unit in the laboratory, and my specific duties within that unit were fire debris analysis and gunshot residue analysis.
And did you transfer to another assigned area at some point in time after that?
Yes, in January of 2012, I transferred to the Firearms and Tool Mark Identification Unit.
So in 2007, you were with the microanalysis fire debris analysis area, is that correct?
That's correct.
Say that correctly. Tell us a little bit about your educational background and training in this particular field.
December of 1990, I received a Bachelor of Science degree from Middle Tennessee State University. I've been employed by the TBI since December of 1992, and upon my employment in the microanalysis unit, I underwent an in-house training program in fire debris analysis. I also completed both the basic and the advanced accelerant detection courses given by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I attended the International Symposium on the Forensic Aspects of Arson Investigation given by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I also attended the ATF K-9 recertification program on 3 different occasions. I attended classes given by the Hewlett-Packard Corporation on instrumentation, operation, and maintenance. And in my 19 years in the microanalysis unit, I have analyzed thousands of fire debris samples and testified numerous times across the state of Tennessee in both state and federal court to those findings.
And we would ask that she be qualified as an expert in fire debris analysis?
Yes, sir.
We would agree. All right, the court will recognize Laura Hodge, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, as an expert in firearm and tool mark identification.
I do work in the Firearms and Tool Mark Identification Unit, but with regard to my work in this case, the microanalysis unit and fire debris analysis. Fire debris analysis.
All right, an expert in fire debris analysis.
What is fire debris analysis?
Fire debris analysis is analyzing debris from a fire scene for ignitable liquids, and examples of ignitable liquids are gasoline, kerosene, and diesel fuel.
And where do you do this? Where do you inspect samples that come in?
This is done in the laboratory.
Is that in Nashville?
Yes, sir.
Is that lab certified?
We are an accredited laboratory.
And have been since how long?
Since 1994.
And we're so accredited back in 2007?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you did in this particular case.
I was given 2 samples, and I was asked to analyze those samples for the presence of any ignitable liquids, such as gasoline, kerosene, or diesel fuel.
Approach with exhibit 387 first. You recognize that can?
Yes, I do. It has my laboratory number, my exhibit number, the date, and my initials. It also has the TBI evidence tape where I resealed it after my examination.
Did you receive that can in a sealed condition?
Yes, sir, I did.
And before we talk about the contents of that, I'll hand up exhibit 388 as well. Do you recognize that can?
Yes, I do. Again, it has my laboratory number, exhibit number, the date, and my initials, as well as the TBI evidence tape where I resealed it after my examination.
And was it received in a sealed condition?
Yes, it was.
And tell us why debris that you analyzed is sealed in paint cans.
Ignitable liquids can evaporate when they are subjected to the environment or to heat from a fire. So in order to protect the ignitable liquids from evaporating any further, we suggest that they be collected and put in what's considered an airtight container, and that's why they're in the metal cans.
Okay. Now, what type do you, obviously you open these cans to examine the debris, is that correct?
Yes.
And what type of debris was sent to you in this case?
One of the cans had rocks and the other one had soil.
So when you received them, opened them up, tell us what you did.
I do what's called a carbon strip recovery method, where I suspend a piece of activated charcoal in each one of these cans, and then I heat the cans. The presence of any ignitable liquids in the cans will vaporize during that heating process, and it will cling to that piece of activated charcoal. Once I remove the cans from the oven and allow them to cool, I remove that piece of activated charcoal and I rinse it with a chemical. I then inject that chemical rinse into instrumentation at the laboratory, and by comparing the recorded data with a library of known standards, as well as identifying peaks within that data, I'm able to classify any ignitable liquids that are present.
Okay. And I think you touched on it earlier, what are the different types of ignitable liquids that you're able to test for?
Examples are gasoline, kerosene, and diesel fuel, or just a few.
Are there different temperatures at which those liquids will ignite? How does that work?
Yes, each one has a different temperature at which they will ignite.
And will one ignite quicker than the other?
Yes.
In what order? Which sequence?
Gasoline will ignite quicker than kerosene or diesel fuel.
Now, as it relates to Exhibit 387 and let's say 388, yes. Tell us about 387 first of all.
Okay.
What were your findings as it relates to 387?
My analysis revealed the presence of an evaporated gasoline range product. Product in this range include all brands and grades of automotive fuels, including gasohol.
It was would gasoline be what was found to be present within that can?
Yes, it's a gasoline range product.
You said an evaporated state?
Yes, sir, and it's evaporated.
Okay. And 388, same question.
Again, my analysis revealed the presence of a evaporated gasoline range product. Product in this range include all brands and grades of automotive fuels, including gasohol.
The cans appear to indicate these samples were collected on January 10th, 2007, is that correct?
That is correct.
How long is the finding of gasoline, how long will gasoline remain present or detectable when you analyze it in a sample?
Gasoline will remain detectable that I can classify it as a gasoline range product within 7 to 10 days once it's exposed to the environment or to heat.
Now, you mentioned that gasoline ignites quickly, is that correct?
That is correct.
And when it does ignite quickly, what are the characteristics of the ignition of gasoline that quickly?
It's much like a fiery explosion.
Is it like a flash of some sort?
Yes, it's the vapors of the gasoline that is igniting, and it can, again, just be like a fiery explosion.
Does that fire type explosion make any types of sound?
Yes, for the lack of better terms, it can make a whooshing sound.
I'll leave those right there for this one. Pass it.
Cross-examination.
Oh, I apologize. One more question to the report. Did you prepare a report?
Yes, I did.
Set forth your findings?
Yes, I did.
And if I could approach this, appear to be a Xerox copy, can you see if that is an accurate copy of your report?
Yes, this is a copy of my official microanalysis report.
And again, these items were forwarded to you at the request of Robert Watson with the Tennessee Bomb and Arson Section in Knoxville.
Yes, that's correct.
Are you familiar with Mr. Watson?
Yes, sir, I am.
Or at the time?
Yes, sir.
We'd move this official microanalysis report in as Exhibit 446.
No, Judge. What we received into evidence, did you move the two cans into?
I think they've already been moved in.
I believe they were with previous, Mr. Honor,
they
Mr.
were.
Boston.
There was no objection.
There were none.
Very well.
believe you said that this was a gasoline range product, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And I think there's also a light range product, is that correct?
Yes, there are different categories of ignitable liquids.
So a light range product would be something like lighter fluid,
Yes, sir, lighter fluids and camping fuels can be in the light petroleum distillate.
and then a medium petroleum distillate, is that going to be more like the kerosene and the diesel fuel?
No, sir, medium petroleum distillate is going to be more of a mineral spirits and paint thinners.
Mineral spirits and
Yes,
paint
sir.
thinners, okay. And so would the diesel fuel be included in the gasoline range?
No, it would not.
So is that its own separate?
A diesel fuel is in a heavy petroleum distillate, and that would be the kerosene and diesel fuel.
Okay, I got you now. Okay, so that's heavy, medium, light. Gasoline's its own separate one.
I like to classify them in this manner. There's four main categories. The light petroleum distillates, which is Coleman fuel and cigarette lighter fluid. Gasoline range distillate, which is all brands and grades of automotive fuels, including gasohol. A medium petroleum distillate, which is mineral spirits and paint thinners. And then a heavy petroleum distillate, which is kerosene and diesel fuel.
Gotcha. And gasoline, it burns very quickly.
Yes, sir, it does.
All right, thank you.
You can sit down, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Should be excused.
Any objection? No. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Derek Norris. Cell phone guy. Yeah. I'm just going to use the switch records. I'm not going to use the. No, this is a USO. You want to take the witness stand there, sir?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give in the hearing of this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please have a seat.
Please introduce yourself to the jury.
I'm Derek Norris
Where are you employed?
with U.S. Cellular.
What do you do with U.S. Cellular?
I'm an optimization engineer.
What is an optimization engineer?
I'm in charge of the performance of the U.S. Cellular's network of our towers.
How long have you been with U.S. Cellular?
It'll be 24 years next month.
Have you always held that same position?
No.
How long have you been an optimization engineer?
Since 2012.
What is your educational background that allows you to hold that position?
Engineering, electronics, technology.
We would offer Mr. Derek Norris as an expert in engineering,
Any objection?
optimization engineering, cell phone.
Cellular network.
You gonna testify about the cell phone towers?
Yes.
All right. The court will recognize your last name, please.
Norris.
The court will recognize Derek Norris as an expert in cellular network optimization engineering.
Sir, I'm really just gonna get right to the point.
Sure.
Did you have occasion to pull the switch records for Miss Christian's cell phone records?
Yes.
If I can approach and show you Exhibit 447. Do you recognize Exhibit 447?
Yes.
What is Exhibit 447?
It is switch call records.
What are switch call records?
Basically, it's when a cell phone is on a tower, makes a particular cell phone call, it goes to the switch, and it will route it to the destination that is called.
Now, once it, I guess, goes to that switch, is there a way to get those records to determine which switch it goes to?
Well, there's only one switch for U.S. Cellular.
Okay. When it goes to that switch, what information does that switch keep?
It provides us with, just for the U.S. Cellular network, it provides information on the cell phone, where it was when it made the call, whether it was an incoming or outgoing call, and where it was located when it made that call or received that call.
Now, explain to us, how can you tell where a phone was when a phone call was made?
On this piece of paper, according to this call record, there's it is the...
Was But just in general.
Yeah, just, there's a code on here that it translates. It's a hex code that tells us which cell site it is.
And so, going back to January 2007, have you provided us with maps as to the different cellular towers here in Knox County?
Yes.
So, if I can approach and show you Exhibit 448. Do you recognize Exhibit 448?
Yes.
What is Exhibit 448?
This is a zoomed in of the area of our Easttown cell site.
So, Easttown, if somebody was, what does this mean?
Well, this here, these colors, it's a lot of different colors, but each color represents a sector for whatever it provides signal. So this here, each of our towers have 3 sectors. This is Easttown Tower. This purple here is the sector 1. The pink is sector 2. And the orangish color is sector 3. That's where it provides signal for this site in these areas.
Are you aware of whether or not Washington Ridge Apartments is the Easttown Tower?
Yes, it is.
So if you're at Washington Ridge Apartments, then you're making phone calls from the Easttown Towers.
Correct.
If I can move Exhibit 448 in as evidence.
Okay.
449, what is Exhibit 449?
This is a zoomed in version of our Cherry Street Tower.
And Cherry Street's right there.
Correct.
Okay, so explain to us what those colors mean.
The purple area is our alpha or sector 1. Our beta is the dark purple, which is sector 2, and the orange would be sector 3 of our Cherry Street Tower.
And have you done some research to determine if you're on Chipman Street, 2316 Chipman Street, would you hit off the Cherry Street Tower?
Yes.
I'd like to move Exhibit 449 in as evidence.
No objection. Let it be received.
Now, Exhibit 450, what are we looking at?
This is just a high level of multiple towers from our network in this probably a 10 or 15 mile radius.
All right,
This
so
is-
this map here, does it show both Easttown and Cherry Street?
Yes.
So if you could, looking at, for the record, we'd like to move into evidence Exhibit 450.
No objection. Let it be received.
So let's look here at Exhibit 447, and let's go to the phone call at 12:33 a.m. Do you see that on the switch record?
Yes, I do.
And can you highlight that, please? What can you tell the jury about the phone call that was made at 12:33 a.m.?
At 12:33, it was made on January 7th. It lasted 31 seconds. 865-660-3783, dialed 539-3722, and it was on our Cherry Street, Sector 3, which would be this area right here.
So can you write, and can you write using that blue marker where the phone was when the phone call was made?
It's, do you want me to write the, just,
12:33.
okay, 12:33.
This is where the call is originating.
Oh, yes, I'll clear that up. So is this where the phone call was originated from?
Yes.
And how do you know that?
This was the original caller. It was our U.S. Sailor customer that made a call to a landline or another another cell phone carrier.
Now, how do you know that the phone was down there and not up here at Easttown?
Because of where the phone call was originated from. It was originated on 11B, Sector 3.
Okay. And for the record, that's going to be Exhibit 350. in Chipman Street, that is within the Cherry Street cellular tower,
Yes, of the Sector 3, yes.
Sector 3. So what now? 447, like in exhibit 447 in his evidence. Pass this.
Cross-examination?
No question.
You can step down, thank you, sir.
Call Daphne Sutton. Thank you, Derek. Just take what we stand there.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give in the hearing of this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Please have a seat.
Scoot up a little bit closer to the microphone and tell us your name.
Daphne Sutton,
Can you spell your last name, please?
Sutton,
And your first name.
Daphne,
Where are you from?
Knoxville.
And if I can direct your attention back to, I'm going to go back to 2006. Did you have occasion to meet someone by the name of Marcus Davidson?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you meet Mr. Davidson?
Through a friend,
And where were you working at the time?
Sonic,
Which Sonic?
Broadway, possibly Western Avenue,
Okay.
one or the other.
Did the two of you start dating?
Yes,
And then eventually did y'all move in together?
yes.
Where did y'all move to?
2114 Chipman Street.
Now, who all lived there with you?
Just me and Lamarcus Davidson and my 2 children.
Now, whenever you moved in, whose furniture was in the house?
Mine.
At some point in time, did you move out of the house?
Yes.
When did you move out?
I'm not sure, honestly. I think around Christmas. I left a few times, so.
And is that because,
It's
the guy in red. Right there.
was he getting violent with you? Put his
Yes.
hands on you?
Yes.
And as is normal, it takes a while to finally get out of the situation.
Yes.
Now, before you moved out, did you come to meet a person by the name of Ethel Lynn Freeman?
Yes.
And how did you come to meet Miss Freeman?
Through a friend of mine, Rhonda Dukes,
And where did Rhonda Dukes live in relationship to you and Mr. Davidson?
2 houses down from Chipman Street house.
And so we've got some pictures that we've looked at here. Is that Rhonda Dukes' picture there? Rhonda Dukes there and Lynn Freeman right there, okay? So, in meeting Miss Freeman, at some point in time, does she offer to sell Mr. Davidson some furniture?
Yes, ma'am. She had went through a divorce and was selling her house, and we had just moved in.
And did Mr. Davidson buy the furniture or make an agreement to buy the furniture or something?
Yes.
And did she also give him some bedding?
Yes,
Now, you said you moved out in December.
I think so.
Did something else happen in December as relates to the residents of the house there?
Yes, supposedly the house was broken into while I was at work.
And whenever the house was supposedly broken into, you were at work. What, if anything, was taken?
My money
And
and Christmas presents.
for your kids?
Yes.
And so who was there at the house whenever you were at work? Was Mr. Davidson working?
No,
And so when you come home, what does he tell you?
that somebody broke in and spray painted the N-word on the wall, that it was spelled N-I-G-G-A instead of the way a white person, a racist person would say it.
So Did you find that to be suspicious?
Yes, and there was paint on his boots. The same paint.
The brown boots?
Yes.
Now, after that happened, did you finally move out?
Yes. Well, I left several times and came back, so. But at one point I did move and take everything with
Took
me,
all the
all the furniture, except for a kitchen table.
And so, when you took all the furniture, were there any beds in the house?
There was an air mattress.
And at some point in time, does someone else come down to the house?
Yes.
Who was that?
Vanessa Coleman, Latalis Cobbins, and George Thomas, and a few other people, other girls.
Did they all come from Kentucky?
Yes. I think Lebanon, Kentucky.
Lebanon?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the last time before the incident that you finally decided to leave the house. Do you remember that Thursday? Something happened that Thursday?
Yes.
What happened Thursday?
We had been arguing,
and Mr. Davidson?
me and Mr. Davidson, and he put his hands on me, threw me against the wall, and I left and walked to the gas station on Cherry Street
And where did you go to the gas station for?
to use the phone and to get away from him.
Who did you call?
Brandy Presley and Cassie Settles,
Now, when you left the house, who did that leave at the house?
Lamarcus, and Latalvis, and Vanessa, and George.
Now, when you left the house, was anyone else there working?
At the house?
Yeah.
No.
Did any of them have a car?
No.
Now, at the time, did you have a car?
Yes.
What was wrong with the car?
The alternator, maybe, or the battery.
I mean, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't start.
If I can approach and show you Exhibit 278. Do you recognize Exhibit 278?
Yes, ma'am.
What is Exhibit 278?
It's my car.
I'd like to move Exhibit 278 in as evidence and Exhibit 282.
My car.
Your car? I'd like to move Exhibit 282 in as evidence. Now, where was your car parked at, even though it didn't work?
It was parked closer to Rhonda's house, 2 houses down from mine.
Still parked on Chipman Street.
Yes, still on Chipman Street.
So whenever you make a phone call to Cassie and Brandy, where do they live?
On Buffett Mill.
Do you recognize Exhibit 305?
Yes, ma'am. Cassie Settles.
That's Cassie. Can you write Cassie at the top? And do you recognize Exhibit 301?
Yes, that's Brandy Presley.
Like to move, would like to move Exhibit 301 in as evidence and write Brandy. We'd also like to move Exhibit 305.
No, Judge.
Let them be received.
All right, so you called Cassie and Brandy. Were you able to reach them?
Yes,
And what did you ask?
if they would come pick me up.
And did they agree to do that?
Yes, Cassie was there and she come and picked me up immediately. And we went and picked Brandy up from, I'm
Now-
not sure where she was, but we went and picked her up.
Did they pick you up there at the gas station?
Yes.
All right, so whenever when you leave, do you have any intentions of going back to 2316 Chipman?
No.
And so you're staying at Cassie and Brandy's?
Yes.
And where is that at in relationship to 2316 Chipman?
Like 10 minutes from here.
When you get over to Cassie's and Brandy's, that's the Thursday?
Yes.
All right. What happens next?
We just hung out. Eventually, Lamarcus was trying to get a hold of me. Sorry, it's been a long time, so.
And I apologize. So Friday, do you think you seen Friday?
No.
What about Saturday?
No, I think it was Sunday.
Okay. What do you recall about Sunday?
Or wait, no, I did see him Saturday, I think. One day I went, he asked me maybe to pick him up,
Okay.
and I did go over there, but he was sitting in my car, so that's when I went. I don't know what I went for.
No, you're fine. Slow down for a second. Let's talk about Sunday. Do you recall him giving you some clothes?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay. He told me he had clothes for me, and then I had to wait 30 minutes when I asked to come over. So we just jumped in the car and went.
Now, why was that? What did you think?
There was another female there.
So who jumps in the car and goes?
Me and Brandy and Cassie.
And where do you go to?
The house on Shipman Street, my house.
And when you get to the house on Shipman Street, do you go up to the house?
Yes.
And who do you see in the house?
When I walked in, LaMarcus was standing inside of the sunroom, I think, or he might have met me on the porch. As we walked in, I think George or actually I think it was Latalvis I seen first, and he didn't speak. And then I seen George, I think he was rolling a blunt. I tried to go in to get my makeup from the bathroom through the front bedroom, and it was locked, or he stopped me, I'm not sure. Said somebody was in there. I heard sound like something maybe fell in the sink. I came back out and tried to go through the kitchen to go around through the back bedroom to get in the bathroom, and he wouldn't let me. He kept grabbing me. And he gave me the clothes and a ring, tried to give me money.
And so when you saw Latalvis and George, what room were they in?
The living room.
And so you walk in the living room, do you go in the front bedroom?
Yes.
Did you see anybody in the front bedroom?
No.
Did you notice anything out of place in the front bedroom?
The kitchen chair was sitting in front of the air mattress, and then the bathroom door, of course, was on the other side.
And so it was not normal to have the kitchen chair in the bedroom?
No.
When you tried to go in the bathroom, what happened?
He grabbed me and told me that it wasn't my house, I didn't live there anymore.
And what did you then do?
I went to leave.
If I can approach and show you Exhibit 336. Do you recognize Exhibit 336?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you recognize Exhibit 336 to be?
The ring that he gave me.
Exhibit 336 in his evidence. Do you know where you got the ring?
No.
So you said the clothes was in a bag?
Yes.
You remember what kind of bag it was?
Maybe JCPenney, Sears, something like that.
Had you ever gotten your clothes before?
No. And there was, the gang he was affiliated with only wore blue. He didn't want me wearing red. There was a red skirt in it.
Talk about the rest of it. Let me show you what's already been introduced. It's Exhibit 342. You recognize these pants here?
Yeah.
And where do you recognize these pants from?
They were in the bag.
Showing you Exhibit 372. Do you recognize Exhibit 372?
Yes.
And where do you recognize Exhibit 372 from?
It's the skirt that LaMarcus gave me.
And this concerns you since it was red?
Yes.
So when he gives you, oh wait. 403.
Did he also give you some blue jeans?
Yes.
What kind of blue jeans did he give you?
I don't remember the brand. They were too big for me.
Did you give them back to the police department?
Yes.
Recognize these glow jeans? Are these the jeans that he gave you?
Yes.
And you gave them to the police department?
Yes.
Like to move these in as Exhibit 403?
Any objection? No objection.
Let them be received.
So I take it when you went into the bedroom, you did not see Miss Christian in the bedroom?
No, ma'am. Nobody was in the bedroom.
You had no clue anything was going on?
No.
So he gives you these clothes, what do you then do?
We went back to Cassie's house and just hung out.
You recognize Exhibit 195?
Yes.
What is Exhibit 195?
It's Brandy's and Cassie's apartment.
Which apartment did they live in?
The bottom apartment.
You want to put an X on it?
This is the floor.
Okay.
So, let me go on here.
All right, so you go back to the apartment. You say you guys are just hanging out.
Yes.
I'd like to have Exhibit 195 in his evidence.
No objection.
Let it be received.
All right, what happens while y'all are at Cassie and Brandon's apartment?
Eventually, he found out who I was with. And I guess he walked over at one point. Or no, I'm sorry. He did show up. I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
You're doing fine.
I'm trying to think.
You're doing fine.
I don't know why I feel like he walked to find me or something, but I don't think he did. He showed up over at Brandy's house in a truck that wasn't his.
I was going to ask you about that. And did you ever see the truck?
No.
No.
Or, well, I was there, yes.
Can you describe the truck for us?
It was the Toyota 4Runner Gold.
Did you see any stickers or anything?
Yes.
Yeah, what stickers did you see?
The Power Tee, the orange Power Tee, and a North Face sticker on the back window.
Back window. Now, did you notice anything about the noise? Did you hear anything?
Oh, they had the music really loud.
And did you say something to him about it, or did
Yes.
somebody say something to him about it?
Yes, and I don't remember what he said exactly, but I think he blamed it on the people in the car, his brother or somebody. I'm not sure.
Okay. And so when he comes over there, what do you give him the clothes back?
Yeah, I had called him and, asked him about the clothes because they were not new. And he told me he'd got them from Planet Exchange or something. And I told him to come back and get it.
And so you gave him the red skirt back?
Yes, I didn't give everything back. I kept a few items.
Yeah. But you eventually gave it to the police.
But I did give those to the police department, yes.
All right, so you give him the items back, the clothes in the Sears bag, the red skirt. Does he then leave?
Yes.
Okay. And so now what I want to do is I want to jump ahead to Monday, the early morning hours of Monday morning. Do you recall getting a call from him or some kind of way he's contacting you, asking you to come pick him up?
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
He had said that his brother had the house key. He couldn't get in touch with Latalbus and Vanessa, and wanted me to come get him, and he wanted to stay with me.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Whenever you went to get him, where was he at?
He was in my car, I do believe, on Chipman Street.
On Chipman Street.
Yeah.
And so do you take him back to Brandy and Cassie's?
Yes.
And so that's the early morning hours of Monday. Do y'all go to sleep?
Yes.
Do you recall what type of shoes he was wearing?
Some black Nikes.
And did they fit him?
No. They were too little
And how could you tell?
because they kind of curled up at the end, or like, you could just tell his feet were crammed in them.
And so y'all go to bed on early morning hours of Monday. Do you recall when you woke up?
Yes. On which day? Monday? Or,
Yeah. Tuesday?
or Tuesday?
Okay. How was it when you woke up? What happened when you woke up?
Tuesday I was woke up to a phone call from my mother. And she was telling me that there was a body found in my house. She was worried about me. And he obviously heard her because his eyes got really, really big. And I got off the phone with her and I told Brandy and Cassie. And I asked him and he just kept saying, "It's on my fam, it's on my fam," something like that. And we told him he had to leave.
Then did y'all take him someplace?
Yes.
And where did y'all take him?
We went and dropped him off at Richbrook Apartments.
Now, had you ever been to Ridgebrook Apartments before?
Yes.
And do you know Eric Boyd?
Yes.
And do you recognize him at the defense table?
Yes.
You have not had any dealings with Mr. Boyd?
No.
So you take him to Ridgebrook,
Yes.
and you know where you drop him off at?
At the bottom half of the apartments.
In Ridgebrook?
Or no, I'm sorry. We took him to the park that was over beside the apartments.
So when you drop him off, do you know where he's going?
No.
When you drop him off, what happens?
We left, and I think the police were. Eventually, I ended up meeting a detective.
And did you talk to the detective about all of this?
Yes.
Last two pictures, do you recognize 162 and 163?
Yes.
What is Exhibit 162?
It's an apartment at Richbrook.
And Exhibit 163?
And I think that's maybe the park next to it.
I'd like to move Exhibit 162 and 163 in as evidence.
No objection.
You receive.
I know you've seen the video from the house before. When you were staying there, would you normally keep a gas can in the kitchen?
No.
The trash can, would you normally keep that trash can in the kitchen?
No. We kept it in the laundry room in the back.
The
The trash can.
What about trash bags for the leaves and stuff they had?
I think we had it where we would put like our trash outside. I'm not sure. I mean, somewhere outside.
The gas cans, where were the gas cans normally kept?
I had one on the back porch, maybe, or in the utility room, the laundry room, whatever it is.
Now, did y'all have a dog?
No,
No.
I don't think so. No.
Showing you Exhibit 413. Do you recognize Exhibit 413?
No.
No. Passwords.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Miss Sutton.
Hello.
When you went to the house on Sunday and you walked in and Mr. Davidson gave you those clothes, you did not see Eric Boyd there, correct?
No, I did not.
The only people you saw in the house at Chipman Street on that day was LaMarcus Davis, the Talvis Coppins, Vanessa Coleman and George Thomas.
Yes.
And just so I understand, Mr. Davidson stayed with you, was it Monday night, Monday evening, early morning hours?
Yes, I believe so.
And did he stay with you also on Tuesday night?
No.
But he did stay with you 2 nights, did he not?
Oh, it would have been Sunday night and Monday night.
Sunday night
maybe?
and Monday night, okay. And then on Tuesday, that's when you found out that there was a body in your house
Yes.
and he had to go.
Yes.
And you had a close family member who was a police officer, did you not?
Yep.
And who would that be?
Dennis Bible,
Okay, and who is he?
my uncle.
All right, and who did he work for?
Knox County Police Department.
Okay, so he worked for the Knox County Sheriff's Department, correct?
No, the city.
Oh, he worked for KPD?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right. And you were interviewed shortly after you would have dropped off Mr. Davidson over at Ridgebrook, correct?
Yes.
And at least in your initial interviews with police, you were less than forthcoming with them.
Yes.
That'd
at
be
first.
a nice way to put it.
Yes, I lied.
You lied to them about what you had seen and as what had occurred. For sure, you lied about the last time you'd seen him.
Yes.
And then in addition, you lied to him about what had taken place whenever you had been around Mr. Davidson.
What do you mean?
About
What took place?
Whether or not he had a gun, whether you saw a gun.
Did I lie? What are you asking me?
Yeah, I was asking you. You didn't tell them that information, that you had seen him, correct?
I'm not sure.
You don't.
At first, what I told him, honestly, I don't remember the lies.
Okay. And then you talked to him again a second time, is that right?
To who?
Police.
Yes.
And in their second interview, were you totally honest with them at that point in time?
No.
When was it that you became totally honest with law enforcement in this case?
Maybe the third time.
The third time you talked to the police.
Yes.
And that's when you finally told them everything that you knew about what had transpired involving Mr.
I told
Davidson.
them what I knew about where LaMarcus had been.
And again, at Chipman Street, you never saw Mr. Board there.
No.
Oh, thank you.
You can step down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cassie? Just take a stand up there, ma'am. It's gonna be real short.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give in the hearing of this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please have a seat.
Cassie, give us your name.
Cassie Suttles.
And Ms. Suttles, where are you from?
I was born in Brunswick, Georgia, but I was raised in Knoxville.
I want to go back to January 2007. Did you know Ms. Daphne Sutton?
Yes.
Did you know Mr. LaMarcus Davis?
Yes.
At some point in time, did you go and pick her up?
Yes.
And I'm just really going to jump ahead. At some point in time, was she and Mr. Davidson staying at your apartment?
Yes.
And at some point in time, did you learn about a body being found in the house?
Yes.
And as a result of that, what did you tell Mr. Davidson?
You need to find a ride or I will take you somewhere.
And where did you take him?
Ridgebrook Apartments, or the little park area right before you get to it.
And did you drop him off?
Yes.
Did you know where he was going to go?
No.
And did law enforcement, did they stop you and question you at some point in time?
Yes.
And did you talk to them?
Yes.
Did you tell them what you knew?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And whenever Mr. Davidson was there at your apartment, at some point in time, I'm sorry, before that, at some point in time, did you see Mr. Davidson in an SUV?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
At our apartment, you couldn't have loud music past 9 o'clock. And he'd come to see Daphne, and they had music blaring, and it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So I just looked out the window to see who it was, and I saw Mr. Davidson get out of a 4Runner.
And did you know which seat he got out of?
I believe it was behind the driver's seat.
And did you notice anything about the 4Runner, as far as stickers or anything?
No.
Pass the witness.
On the day that Mr. Davidson came over to your apartment in the SUV and got out of the vehicle, you didn't see Mr. Boyd there, did you?
No.
And in point of fact, the only other person other than Mr. Davidson is, I believe Mr. Davidson told you that his brother is the person who had the radio up so loud. Is that correct?
I don't believe he ever told me who it was that had it up so loud. He wasn't driving, so I just assumed he was with the people.
Okay. And when you dropped Mr. Davidson off at Bridgebrook, you didn't see Mr. Boyd there either?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
No, no.
You can step down, thank
All right, thank you.
Can you approach?
Certainly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're proceeding well. We're making good progress. We've run out of things to do, in fact, so I'm going to let you go a little early. It is very likely there's going to be media coverage, so again, I caution you, please don't read anything or listen to anything. Just turn off of it as soon as you can. Make sure that when you make your decision, it's on evidence, thanks from this witness stand. Tomorrow, this court does not have a regular docket, so we can start right at 9 o'clock. So please do come in a little bit before 9, and we'll get an early start and see how far we can get tomorrow. Have a pleasant evening. Put the case out of your mind. Don't think about it.